Good evening, morning, afternoon, freaks and geeks, as this is Reluge, and today we're doing something extremely different. Um, Today I am going to be reviewing the trains, or locomotives slash engines, from Sid Meier's Rail Tycoon series. Yes, I'm serious. Yeah, I'm really serious. Rail Tycoon has been a huge game in my childhood. And then when I found out that they made sequels, I bought them. And at some point they released Sid Meier's Railroads, which was kind of like a revamp of the first Railroad Tycoon. So it's like you could buy Railroads, Railroad Tycoon 2, and Railroad Tycoon 3 on Steam, but not the first one. But one thing I like in pretty much games is like cycling things out, updating them, like how Magic was doing their base sets, which those are going to be a video in themselves. But with Railroad Tycoon, I love how they have actual like historic locomotives. So I've decided I'm going to showcase all of them and also do a bit of review on what I think, which is why I can't zoom in. Okay, apparently I can't zoom in here. But, we have the normal version, which are the engines on the left. I did not know that they had a deluxe version of the game, and those engines are on the right. Let's see. The new engines, for some reason, were huge. Like, the sprite of them, like, fits the majority of the screen, while the older ones still are small. And I noticed with some of them, they've updated the, sprites. Like, noticeably with the 10-wheeler and the consolidation, they made it look a little sleeker. They actually gave them a little bit of a darker color. I think that's because they're able to use a little bit, like, better of a palette. And for some reason, they got rid of the iconic grasshopper and put in the John Bull, which I'm all right with, but it's like the little grasshopper. It's like you actually saw the little leg pistons moving, and I thought, like, as a kid, I thought that was awesome. Also, as a kid, I thought they made that one up. But looking it up, that's one of the earliest engines ever built in America. So is the John Bull. And I also found this other one, the Tom Thumb. But as you progress, like, for the series of the Rail Tycoon, I feel like the 10-wheeler and the consolidation, and even the American, are kind of like icons of the game. Mainly because they're like midway through. It's like by the time you get those, it's like you start having troubles in the game and you get sold out, whatnot. So the DX added the Atlantic, and removed the mallet, aka the Challenger. I swear that they said that they called it the Challenger when I was a kid, but it's the mallet, and then they changed it to the Challenger later. But they also added the Northern and the Hudson. Now, later on, you'll see me comparing the F Series diesel to other, like, diesel engines, but I noticed it's like F Series. Doing the research, a lot of the engines are, especially when they get to the diesel, when they stop labeling um the type of engine by the wheels. By the way, like the 460 10-wheeler, for those that don't know, means it's like it has 4 wheels in the front, 6 wheels in the middle, and then 0 wheels at the back of it. Now, someone that's more invested or knowledge in locomotives can tell me more details. Like, I do know the ones in the middle are depicted by the connecting rod thing. I forgot what it's called. I think that's the main driving point of the engines. Again, I know people will know more and will correct me, and that is actually welcome. I do. One of the reasons why I do this, I would like conversations in the comments talking about, like, oh yeah, the engines are like this and whatnot. So anyway, when I got the G1 diesel, when I first downloaded the deluxe version, it's abandonware. It's okay. I kind of fell in love with that engine. I thought it was going to be like the top, but then there's like the GP diesel, which is almost like the F series. But you'll see other engines that I regard, and for some reason, the name of the Centennial and the other one did not go through. So that's lovely. So these are the locomotives you can get in the North American. Like, they have like 4 scenarios you can do, east and west, as 2 separate scenarios for North America. East starts early in the west starts late. It, like, starts with like the 10-wheeler and the Constellation. I'm never going to say that correctly. And then they have the European engines, which are my favorites. You could start in England, which is the early one, starts with the planet and the patentee. Or you could start in the actual, like, European, like, continent, which starts with the compound and the Hamilton. I also find it interesting. Wait, did I not include the wheel numbers in the names for this one? I don't think I did. So, in this one, I've noticed a lot of the engines having like a big center wheel. Like the Iron Duke, the Sterling, and the Spinner. I find that to be interesting. I don't know if that was better than, like, say, having 3 wheels connected. Uh, if you know if that was better or not, let me know. I'm actually surprised they removed the Hamilton, because that's freaking Thomas the Tank Engine. Why would you remove an icon like that? And the Grizzly was, I forgot his name. He's one of the big, like, older engines that's, like, was grumpy and whatnot. But, I'm surprised they removed the Grizzly, and they added the Class S3 and the Class P8. Which I know nothing about. I find it interesting. It's like they keep calling it like Class S3, Class P8, Class A4, which is an amazing locomotive. I love that. But my favorite, we're going to skip all the way down. Well, I guess we're not going to skip down because I've weird that they swapped the crocodile and the Class A4. I do not know why they did that. Also, it's called the GE66 crocodile. But then they also removed the 242A1 and added Class 1020, which looks like the crocodile's older brother. But then that's as far as the engines go there. For some reason, they knocked off the V200 BB, the Re66 BBB, which I'm assuming is the bigger brother of the V20 or 200, and the TGV, which is an iconic engine. I love that thing. It's like whenever someone talks about like trains, that's one of the ones. It's like the bullet train, and I always thought that was a Japanese engine, unless I'm getting that mixed with something else. Which brings up another thing. The Deluxe added South America and Africa, but didn't give them their own locomotives. I'm still doing like extensive research because I'm doing a thing which I might talk about at the end of this. But that's it of the first Railroad Tycoon. Now, the Railroad Tycoon 2, my screen here might be a little muddied. I did try to have the borders on each engine, but the biggest issue I have with trying to get screenshots is the quality of the game for back in the time. I mean, it's like the engines were amazing, but you can't really tell, especially with the Stephen Rocket up here, or Stevenson Rocket, because it's so tiny, and you can't like fully zoom in. What I had to do is like take a screenshot of what it was and blow up the picture, and that causes pixelation to happen. And it just frustrated me. At least with the bigger engines down at the bottom, you could see them more clearly. But I loved the fact that they added a lot more engines to the game, and the fact that you have like different scenarios you can do. I really loved the gameplay of the original, having like kind of like an open world, an endless mode, and you can start wherever, like whatever year you want, and just try to see how long you can run a railroad, and having like different people coming in, building to cities, like what they did in number one. Because number two, number three, it felt like the your competitors were just there. Especially number three. But And I noticed something that they did, because it's like at the beginning, it's like I'm seeing a lot of different American engines that I know, like the John Bull, uh, the 10-wheeler, and the 10-wheeler's little brother, the 8-wheeler. They have the Consolidation, the Pacific, uh, interestingly, Mastodon. And we're going through and uh I think it's right about where the EE33 is. I'm like, that's almost the crocodile. It's like the crocodile's little brother. Then the class 1045, it's like these engines are suddenly becoming different. And then you get the Ultra 080. So I noticed it's like they have two Ultras. Because it's like 060 and then a 080, and then the GG1, and I'm like, okay, that's definitely an American. Hudson. I don't know about the Daylight and the Streamliner. They almost seem like they could be European. I don't know. But then you get up to here where it's like a bunch of different like diesel and electric engines. A lot of them look like the American engines, but then you get the TGV. It's like, wait, why do they have that in the American scenario? I kind of like the Dash 9, by the way. And also the Thales Bullet and the Eurostar seem to be American or European as well, but just because they're similar to the TVG. And at the end, they give you the Brenner and the Maglev TBX1. I still have to see if this is a real engine. Because as far as I know, the year they give you that is after the year that the game was made. I know, I should probably have looked into things, but this is a lot of engines I have to research and read about, so I am still going to do that because, like I said, I'm doing something, but... And to show more of what I mean, over on... Oh, wait. First, let's do this. I forgot that I did this. This is the list of the different engines from Railroad Tycoon 1 to Railroad Tycoon 2. And I also have, like, the... I'm using the side pictures for the engines because it just looks not not that it looks nice. It's just easier to be like a side by side comparison. So I am going to see about uploading this onto my Discord, which I have removed the link in my description because all I'm getting is spam bots. However, I think I am going to link the pass to this. I'm going to figure out how that can work, whatnot. But as you can see, it's like a lot of the engines are improved upon, and like I said, with like the F series and the GP series, I'm comparing them to the different like F models and GP models as I see fit. You can argue with me about like that it shouldn't be compared like that or have a better comparison. That's fine. Like I said, I like conversations in the comment sections. And yes, I will be communicating with you guys too. So this is the European. I had to look this one up. Oh, I can zoom in. The Trevet Hick 1, because it's the most pathetic engine I have ever seen in a Railroad Tycoon game ever. And apparently, it's only available in certain scenarios, but you won't use it anyway because you got a Stephenson rocket. And as you can see, it's like, that's why I'm saying it's like, this is weird. Because the European is also using the Stephenson rocket, and John Bull, Dewitt Clinton. Actually, I think the Prussian is the first European engine. And I was afraid because it's like, are they just using... No, I swear there was other engines in this game. But then it's going forward, it's like you got the Prussian, the Iron Duke, and I'm like, oh, okay, I recognize these. And then an A3, which isn't that good. But then they throw the 8-wheeler at me, and I'm like, okay, we gone back into the American, and then a Vulcan, and then the consolidation. So it's like, European engine, American engine, European engine. Now, I do know that sometimes engines are ported to another country. I don't know if that's what's happening here. But by the way, the 3-tuck Shay is a very powerful engine if you're like building over hills a lot, because the speed on that, even though it's lower than the ones before it and the ones after, it will still run the same speed over a lot of the different terrain. And I always use that for that, and it's really good. Same thing with the Camelback. But yeah, I don't know why they combined the American and the European engines for this. The the Class A4 here, it looks awesome in this game. Really love how they enhanced that. Then you got the Class E18, which is the electric engine. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, you can tell what type of engines they are by looking at the little corners here. Of course, the steam has a little steam pipe coming off of it. Electric has this little doodad. I pulled those directly from the game, by the way. And the diesel has this traffic light looking thing. And here's the Crocodile's older brother. So it's like they got the older brother and the younger brother, but not the crocodile. I find that to be weird. And what's up with this TGV-X? It's like a gray version of the TGV and much weaker? I don't get it. But at least it got the V20. That was a pretty decent engine. And again, at the end, it's like Dash 9, Sally's Bullet, Eurostar, and Class 232, DB18 201, and then the Brenner and the Maglev. Which is weird. So, and again, this is the comparing them. I don't know why there's no background. I think I forgot to actually throw a background on that. But this is the Railroad Tycoon 1 versus Railroad Tycoon 2. I did decide to throw the American engines in there too because I wasn't sure on which engines are like fully American and fully European. And again, I don't know why they left the Hamilton out. They even left the Webb Compound out, and then I think that was like something A3. They kept that one in, leaving out the... They left out a lot of the European engines now that I think about it. Yeah, because these two are not in it. They have the Iron Duke, but not DX Goods, the Sterling, and the Spinner. Haha, I remember their names. And then this thing, and Crocodile. Why did they leave those out when the A1 they left out? I forgot what that one's called. But it makes no sense to me. So on to Railroad Tycoon 3, which is my favorite out of all the Railroad Tycoon games. You got less engines, and I've also noticed that the engines are actually separated by their nationalities. And although I just noticed I have the planet here, wasn't that an American or a European train? I can't remember. Yeah, do I have the wrong one there? I don't know, and I don't care. But yeah, they got the Norris, and then the Baldwin, which looks like it has kind of like a fancy hat on. Oh, and they also have the Duke class. So, I think I'm wrong on that. Anyway, instead of the 3-truck Shay, they have the Shay 2-truck. They kept the Camelback. And I just love the bipolar. Back in 1919. I don't know where they got the polar from, because I don't think the medical term bipolar was created back in 1919. But I just find it funny. The Zephyr looks interesting. They also changed the color on the GG1. I kind of like the rustic look. Oh, and here's the Challenger, which was known as the Mallet. And yeah, it looks like the Mallet from the first game, so that's what I'm sticking to. Screw you, this is my review. Although you can let me know if I'm wrong. And then the big boy. Oh, the big boy. I like the GP7. Well, like I said, it's like the GP7 and the GP35. I read that's like they labeled them based on like the number that they've had released, like in order. So that's going to be interesting to research further on. The VL80T looks like it's saying Volt. I know the L is before the O, whatever. The DD40AX, I think my father had a model of that once. I think. And then we have the Red Devil. That is kind of cool. I like that. And I noticed that they don't have the Brenner or the Mad Lad, but instead they have the E88, which is a 2012 engine, which was done after the game was made. And then a 2015 DD080X. And I'm like, they've had to make these up. But the DD looks really cool. And they're insanely fast as well. I mean, oh my god. But like, pretty much at the end of the game, it's like, by the time you get to there, you've already completed the scenario, so... And I don't know the whole reason of having the different... as you can tell, it's really confusing me. Sad they got rid of the Mastodon, though. That was a pretty smooth engine. And they kept in the 8-wheeler, but dumped the 10-wheeler. That also didn't make sense to me. So, as you can see, it's like they did drop a lot, but then added a lot more new ones. Like I said, if you want to do a really like in-depth like look, it's going to be up on my Discord. This is the European engines. And yeah, as you can see, and I think they have more. I'm not sure. But they have the planet here as well. But then the Adler, no Norse, that made me sad. Firefly, which has a big wheel in the middle again. Youth. And the Crampton, and I'm like, there's like a lot of new, like, early on engines. The Fairlights, like, picked up a little bit of steam, and then they brought back the Sterling. And I'm like, okay, so... And then the Duke class in the S3 from previous. But the Class 500, the locomotive is backwards. I love it. But that also reminded me of this engine I looked up called the Cab Forward. I think it's this. I don't know. And they also have the pipe holder here. They brought back the crocodile and made it brown instead of red, which, in the defense of the game, I don't think they could have done that particular color with the, what was it, 16-bit? But they brought back the A4, aka the Mallard. And they keep making that look great. I love that engine. TVG is my favorite, but that's close second. And they got some more like really interesting looking, like the Craig's Lock and the U1. Oh, and they brought back the A1. And now it's like you could see the front part. Which is what I liked about this. I could go in, zoom in on the trains. Like, these are from like the info cards, and this is the actual train in the game. And it's like, I just love zooming in on them. And I got the Red Devil. Freaking love the Red Devil, too. And they have the Brenner here, which kind of tells me that the Brenner was a real engine. But then they also have the Trans Euro, which the game was done in the late 2000s, I want to say. But it's like, I feel like the European trains got a lot more. Hold on a minute. That's what it looks like. Unless I'm missing some. And then, of course, here's the comparison lineup. And I just noticed they did remove the TGV, I think. Hang on. Yeah, which bugs me. So these are the extra engines in the game. Now I know the Orca is a made up engine for one of the scenarios. I thought it was the seeding one, but I played that and it was one of the different engines. Uh I have no idea the backstories on these guys. So when I do the researching, I'm gonna look these up and find out like why is it just extra engines that were not in the other two. Now, Railroads, the most recent game they did. Like I said, it seems like they've just taken the first game and just remade it. Which is why, instead of doing like this is what like the verses, I gone back to how I used to do these reviews, where I have all their previous incarnations. Except this time, I have the different like views of the engine, because for some reason they got like the info card. This is the engine when you're selecting it. I notice it's a different model than the others. This is the info page that's like, you got a new engine, and that's what pops up. And this is the actual model. I like the fact that they have the people. Look, you you can barely see him, but they got little people now on the engines doing things. You can see better on um the Norris. But I love that detail. The main reason why I don't really like Worlds is because they made it more of a competitive, like, PvP type thing. And it's very watered down. Like, you don't have many of, like, the, cargo changes. They've actually really simplified how you run the, railroad. But I can't knock the graphics on it. It is one of the best, especially the little people on it. Anyway, you will see the locomotives that are in the past three games, or like pretty much in all the games. Like the American was in all of them. Constellation, the Pacific. This is the GG1. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Look at it. I know they call it the P5A class, but look at it. It's the G1. The GG1. You can't tell me otherwise. And apparently the Golden State. Wait. Wait. No. I saw that. I think it was Rail Tycoon 2. Yeah, the Daylight. Oh, the Daylight and the what was it, Golden State? Yeah, they're the same engine. Interesting. Okay, I did not know that. Alright, the European, which I find to be interesting because the planet and the panty, they look closely alike. And then the Iron Duke and the DX goods almost look exactly alike too. And of course, like the Sterling and the Spinner look alike. But it's almost like they used the same model but tweaked it slightly. Which, if that is what they did, I am disappointed. But it's like, with the European engines, it seems like they kept knocking out the iconic ones. If you notice, there is no TGV. It's like the I can't. That turned up a bit pixelated for me. But the one Coco One is like the fastest engine in the European nation. So, but they also added Germany. So it's like finally Germany has its own like group of engines. And I've noticed a lot of it was from the European, which makes sense because Germany is in Europe. So I guess you could call these the England locomotives. Citations needed. Please correct me in the comment section down below. Which is why it's like I don't know that much about the railroads. I know more about dinosaurs than I know about trains. Looks like I was surprised that they had the crocodile in the Germany section. And then it's like the Adler, the Beouth, they almost are the same. And then the that almost looks AI. But it's the poor. Is it McDock? I can't remember. Matic! It's the Matic. Matic and the Class S3. By the way, the Adler, if you see, look at the planet. Oh no, not the planet, the Panatee ones? Or is it something different? Hold on. Yeah, the Adler and the Panatee. They use the exact same model. That bugs me. And the Beouth. Okay, I thought it was closer to. It's almost like that one. Now that I think of it, nah, it's not. Never mind. But like, apparently the 121 and the V200 are Germany's. And then here's France. That has the Norris, Crampton, the Maddock again, a 242 Class 121, which I've never seen before. And the Glen Atlantic as well, and the Crocodile, and the North Pacific, and look down here, the TGV, and the French. I'm definitely going to have to do a lot of research. Especially when I thought the TGV was a Japanese engine. So, I do like that they added more nations in railroads. But again, they've been, like, sharing engines with the others. I was hoping for more engines and some more, like, callbacks to, Railroad Tycoon 2 and 3. And that's why I said it seems more of, like, a remake of the first game. I mean, there are some from, like, number 3, like, the Crampton. And the Glen Atlantic, showed up in number 2. But I was thinking, because there are a lot of Railroad Tycoon games out there. Like, not from Sid Meier. It's just Sid Meier's my childhood, so, you know. But I was thinking, how cool would it be if there was a Tycoon simulator, like a railroad simulator, where instead of just like building the trains and then just watching the trains go through, you'd like plan out your railroad. Like it would be like how much money it's going to cost, and you plan it out in like a overview map. But then you get to watch your railroad going through in like first or third person view. Like you can watch the people building the tracks, digging through the tunnel. And of course, it wouldn't like take hours to build like one station to another. It'd be like you'd see them, they like place down tracks, hammer it a couple times, lay down the next track, hammer it a couple times, just keep doing that. And then you get to manage how things go, like how fast you want them to work, how like the quality that you want. And then your business would run how you manage it. And I think that kind of gameplay would be kind of cool. So what I'm doing, because I don't think I'm ever going to be able to make this game. I just have the idea, and I'm picking out the engines that would be cool to have in the said game. I'm not going to do it as much as, like, Railroad Tycoon 2 and 3 was. I will handpick ones from history, and try not to like have one engine from the F3 class as an example. So let me know what you think. Click on whichever like button you think is appropriate for this video. And until next time, all aboard! Choo choo!